Hey guys, a little rainstorm today, but it came through. Feels good, fresh air. About 67 degrees over here in the middle of May in California. Feels amazing. Hey, let's talk about the markets. I have not talked to you guys in a while on a drive, just to speak about what I think is going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday, and it's not just about tomorrow that I'm like really brainstorming on. It's the market as a whole. I think that it tends to happen, right? So .com bubble comes to really put an impact on what the bubble is and how much the market sells off and how it can never recover. You had 9/11 happen. And when 9/11 happened, these buildings got blown up in front of people, and it sparked a side story. Totally disconnected from what the market was actually doing. So now I fast forward it and I think about all the stories that come out of all these time frames, right? Like Enron, like Bernie Madoff. And when those things happen, the market sells off, and you're like, look at this. That was actually, the great financial crisis. Not everybody knew what was happening when it was happening. So now as I go forward and I see what was happening in 2019 and how we're going to have a reset, something like COVID happens. And that was pretty telling on the market. But the unfortunate part is you had the market sell off. The unfortunate part was, the Fed printed out $6 trillion. So, of course, next thing you know, you have this market that actually is going to just go up and to the right, and all the money's going to trickle up. And it trickles up because everyone that had all that money ends up paying their bills, and those bills end up going, to the bill collectors themselves, who end up being, Mag 7, or however you guys want to put it. All the money that's circulating in the world right now. So now we're at this pinnacle. We're at this mountaintop right now. And I've seen the orchestrated hit pieces and markets sell off, like they did 20%, 15% off of some fabricated DeepSeek news that came out. But why is the market really selling off? Because, you get to say things like tariff and tariff dates and all this manufactured fear. That's not that tariffs actually change the bottom line for multiple companies. It's just manufactured fear. And once you have that, you have a reason to take profits. So here's why I'm talking. I anticipate this market selling off very soon. But when it sells off, it's going to be a disguise. As in, there's going to be some news, some monumental news and or event happen to distract you from what's really happening. They're going to take profits. They're going to sell off the market, the top of it, and then they're going to try to pinpoint it on some story that doesn't really have the impact it should. Like, you guys know GameStop, right? This whole story we talk about. Man, remember all those Reddit traders got in there and went and took the market up and to the right, and then try to stick it to the man, all the short hedge funds and blah, blah, blah. They say all this stuff to you, right? And then when you find out it was just $30 billion. That $30 billion, it's nothing. Nvidia lost $1.5 trillion in the last 2 months. They were doing movies about GameStop. People were talking about they're all losing their wealth. They're losing everything. Nobody lost anything on Nvidia? That's wild. How about the whole Mag 7? Even Tesla. Everybody's sold off so far. The only winner right now is Microsoft, and they're still down 10%. So, yeah, I think some news is going to come out. And when the news comes out and the stories come out, it's going to be anything to distract you from what's really happening. What's really happening, guys? Well, you got to have a correction on this market. You got to have it, because we were overextended, and inflation is really hitting home right now with a lot of people. That's why there's nobody in Vegas. That's why there's nobody at Six Flags Magic Mountain. There's nobody doing the extra right now. So be prepared for what's coming for you guys on the market. Have your cash ready. It's pretty bad when Warren Buffett says he's out of here. Warren Buffett's not retiring because he wants to live a better life or because he's going to ride off into the sunset. He already is in the sunset. He already's lived the best life he could. He lives one way. Charlie worked till he was 99. He worked himself to death. But he lived a great life. So, what I think is really going to happen. I think there's going to be some true pain out here. But for those of you that have planned for it, those of you that actually have the cash ready to go, be ready. If you're a GameStop investor, holy hell, I'm talking to you. Be ready. Because GameStop, the company, just might be the next Berkshire Hathaway. It just might change. And you know what makes Berkshire Hathaway so valuable? Like Warren Buffett, the crew, and what they do. They were a company that transitioned and became a holding company. And so they went from that textile company to a holding company. And this holding company started making deals and started buying controlling stakes of investments and things they believed in. But it was the ecosystem of the Berkshire investor that propelled those brands and that leadership. So when they do take controlling stakes in companies, or they put people on the board of directors of the 90 companies they own, yeah, they have influence and the brand carries through. I tell you this because GameStop's the same way. GameStop has an up-and-coming investor. GameStop has the 30 and 40-year-olds that grew up playing video games. Well, now we're all in management positions. We're all in a position of wealth where we're going to have these 40s, 50s, and 60s, the years to make all the money, and we get to utilize that capital towards things that we want to do. And what do we want to do? We want to support the brand. We want to support the company. So that's how this happens. That's how GameStop becomes bigger than life. And nobody has really factored all this in, but you find out once you can buy your product at GameStop, once you can get a PSA graded card, well, there's a partnership. You can get some video games, there's a partnership. You can get some controllers and accessories. Well, what's next? What's the next item GameStop's going to sell where their fans are going to buy it from GameStop? Because we'd buy anything from GameStop. If GameStop sold car insurance, we'd buy it from them. We'd all be GameStop car insurance people, and it would go through the roof because we support the brand. That's the difference here. It's just, you know, it's almost like Tesla. You got Tesla bros out there, and they have all these products, and people support them. Apple is this way. Apple identity. There are people that just buy Apple and only Apple. Phone, watch, car, TV, whatever they want to offer, someone's buying the Apple product. Okay. Well, welcome to GameStop. Because I think GameStop's going to be around for a very long time. Forever. Enjoy the news, guys. It's coming. Let's watch the market. Let's see how bad it gets. But, yeah, I think a big news story is going to break within the next couple of days. Within the week, I think a big headline will come out, and it'll give you some scare tactics. Watch. Let's watch and learn together. Let's see if I'm right. I get lucky sometimes. Peace.